Hello everyone, welcome to Jargus Ranger Review. This time we'll be looking at the 17th episode of Dino Charge, no matter how you slice it. Now, just like last time, this episode begins with Poisandra and Curio messing with the prisoner. Except this time, there's a scissor monster there called Sheer Fear watching them, and he cuts some sort of invisible ribbon between the two of them, and what it does, it severs their bond, and the two start bickering with each other. Sledge sees this, and at first he's mad because he screwed up his fiancée, but then once he sees and understands what it can do, he wants to send the bastard at the Rangers. And speaking of the Rangers, they're getting out the truck on their dining museum gear to do something we don't know yet. But Riley is walking off checking his phone for message, and when Coda tries to talk to him, he says that it's his birthday and his mother hasn't called him yet, which she usually does on his birthday. Because remember, he left his family to go out and check out what that Energem was all about way at the start of the season, so he's a little bummed out. But that quickly fades because they're not there on business, even though they're dressed for it. They're there to slide down a huge sand dune, and that actually looks pretty fun, I must admit. So they go and slide on right down it, and somehow they have another truck at the very bottom, when the top is more like a forest. So how does that work out? Do they have some other worker there, or is Kendall driving? Maybe even Keeper. It's not Philip because he went back to Xandar. And as they finish, they start talking, and Shelby's wondering if she dropped her phone and all of that. And of course, Sheer Fear just sneaks up right on top behind them and starts severing their bonds one by one. And so they all start arguing, yelling at each other, and start going separate ways until Coda sees them and he tries to get Riley, and he pushes him out the way. So he misses trying to get Coda, and it can break his body. In fact, it breaks his scissor blade on him. So the two quickly figure out that this little asshole is behind it. And so the blue and green Rangers alone see Shelby's phone on the ground and actually recorded the whole thing. Yeah, because they were recording the escapades earlier. So they go back to the museum. And the other four are trying to bake some sort of food, debating over cake and cupcakes and the ingredients, and have a little bit of a food fight until Kendall Morgan walks in, and she is taking no nonsense from them, asking what's going on. She pretty much just yells at them, go to the base right away. She ain't messing around at all. It's about time she had a more proactive role than just a bit of a technical assist, commanding them again. So once it's explained what they do, so once Coda and Riley fully explain what's going on, they try to rebuild their friend. But of course it doesn't work, they just keep fighting. They try different kind of team building activities, like the fall and catch and the three-legged race. Doesn't work at all. The four just keep going out at each other. And then Keeper says that it's disrupting their energies, and their connection to the Energems is breaking. And if that happens, they would no longer be Ranger, which means we'll be left with three. Then Riley is looking at the video again, and he notices that the scissors broke because Coda's loyalty to them is way too strong to be destroyed at it. To which our precious little caveman says they're more than friends, they're family. And pretty much is his family because they're all he knows ever since he woke up, being a Blue Ranger, along with all the others. That's all he knew. And looking at it, Kendall thinks that she can reverse if she just had a piece of that scissor. And at first that led me to believe that they were going to go back to the scene and try to get the piece that broke right then and there. But no, they do something a little more clever, because Riley has a plan, and what we see is him and Coda sitting at a bench talking, largely about his birthday. Yeah, because it's still his birthday. Funny enough, this is my brother's birthday that I'm watching and recording this on. And Sheer Fear sees their bonds and tries to sever Coda's, but Sheer Fear sees them and their bonds emitting from them, and he tries to cut Riley's, except it breaks again. And when he's in shock, they stand up, and turns out they were disguised as each other, both in the colors of shirts and by wearing wigs. So it completely fooled him, and they don't even get the fight because they grab a piece and rush off in the truck to get the other four Rangers back. Kendall's have a mini lab in there, nothing at all like Breaking Bad. Starts working right away to get an antidote for what he did. Meanwhile, the Rangers are at a bus stop trying to not look at each other because they're all just going to go back to where they all came from and be done with everything. And as soon as the bus comes, the taking them all to an airport, presumably on a different flight. Kendall yells at them and stops them. They all wonder what are they doing here now. They're all angry. Fortunately, they just use a morpher blast on them, and it kind of repairs that again, and the gens are even glowing again. So they're surprised. They're thinking, what were we doing? I don't know. Same thing, like they had completely forgotten it already. Of course, they don't have too much time to relax because Sheer, along with Wrench and Yo-Yo for some reason, go to attack them. And it's Riley that leads our morph into battle. In fact, he's so focused on fighting him that he fights him one-on-one. And during fighting the Vivics, Ivan wishes they were a more challenging opponent. Because let's face it, they're kind of useless. Unless, of course, you're fighting them unmorphed, which you shouldn't be, as we learned in the past episode. But our Scissor Man here, he is not an easy opponent. He's matching Riley's sword skills, and even summons big-ass blades that come straight from the ground and shoot down at him. Fortunately, Ivan and Chase run to defend Riley by deflecting and blasting him away. And ultimately it ends up being Ivan and Riley that switch charges and combine their powers to finish him. It's a really nice scene because Ivan's shooting his electrical attack on the ground and Riley is jumping up behind him and whirling in the air and slashing down to hit the finishing blow. It looked great. And so for a giant battle, it goes a bit differently. We have the Dino Charge Megazord and the Terra Charge Megazord, but they still can't get close enough to scratch. So they reform their Megazords, and Riley and Koda's Zords combine with the Terra Zord, and they join Ivan inside its cockpit. And it looks pretty good too. And to destroy the giant Vivics, the T-Rex Shoulder Blast Final Strike kind of destroys them. And meanwhile, our supercharged Terra Zord Megazord just has a fireball finish, which just glows gold and just this big blast. It looks awesome, and that's what destroys our Sheer. And then back in space, Poisandro and Curio just make up because, you know, they lost their friendship for a moment. Oh yeah, then we see Wrench again, who supposedly has been very active in the past few episodes, being part of the missions and battles, because up to now he hardly did anything outside of Sledge's ship. I wonder what's making him so proactive lately. Anyway, Sledge is about to really into him and probably destroy him or lock him up for failing the past several times, until Fury interrupts and says he thinks he found the purple energy. So if that, they get all excited and distracted from that. Well, great, our Rangers are having no luck finding that. They better catch wind of it soon before they lose out. And now, back on Earth. At the end of the day, things are dark. Riley walks into their base. Pitch black, he wonders how the lights come on. And they do come on, and they have a surprise party for him. They've been planning this for his birthday for weeks, and they know they miss home. Apparently, they never forgot about him all because they had a video message pre-recorded saying how they miss him and such. So that was a nice touching scene. Sorta kind of makes his depression all for nothing. Well, not all for nothing because he didn't know. But I think that fully lifted his spirits then. With Keeper saying some words about how his family is always with him even if they're not close in person. Simple nice message for people who are away from home or getting home. And overall, this was a decent episode. More run-of-the-mill, not like amazing. Now we did get to see some new plot developments come forth, mainly with the purple Energems showing up, and also showing how close the Rangers have become in this short amount of time. Because it still seems to be in the middle of summer when everything began. Plus we got to see a new Megazord formation. This is always great to see. Overall, this episode wasn't bad, so I give it a pass. So I'm really wondering what Wrench's role is going to be now, as well as what's going to happen with that purple energy. They had just enough of the main plot involved to keep me wondering for more. So I'm looking forward to that next time. And until then, I'm Jargus Ranger. Thanks for watching, and let the power protect you.